welcome! It's yet another A Star to Steer Her By, your favorite Star Trek watching podcast. We're still watching Enterprise, for reasons. We're almost done, we promise. And then who knows what the hell we'll do. As usual, you know this is Ames.
This is Caitlin.
Oh no, Jake's being possessed.
No, I'm sleepy.
I was gonna say, he's in a fucking food coma from his big brekkie.
I had a big brekkie.
And this is Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair.
I do it so often. It's very funny. So yeah, we're doing episode number 360 this week.
Woo! 360.
And we're doing a 360.
We've gone full circle.
Because and ending exactly where we started and watching Enterprise, the episodes this week are going to be Observer Effect and Babel One. Let's launch straight on in. I didn't hate Observer Effect. This one I thought was interesting. We'll talk about it. But first, here's a quick synopsis. Reed and Mayweather are playing chess, and we come to realize that, they've managed, even though we've been watching Mayweather talk for a while, to not actually give Mayweather any lines, because the two of them are actually being possessed by some manner of alien, and they're up to something. Turns out, Trip and Hoshi have contracted some kind of disease or other on a planet, and these alien observers are using it as some kind of a test to see how various life forms handle the problem and to determine whether or not they're cool. It's their own Kobayashi Maru, basically, and they're pretty sure humans are going to fail utterly. So the observers are spending the episode basically going and possessing pretty much everybody's bodies at one time or another to see the human experience without interfering, which they claim they're not doing.
How is taking over a doctor who's trying to cure something and stopping him from trying to cure something not interfering?
Because they don't do anything during that time.
But all right.
All the while, Trip and Hoshi are getting worse and worse while in their quarantine. And it starts to become clear that one of the observers is the young new one and seems uncomfortable with the idea of watching people just die of this disease just for their research thing. And the older one keeps asserting how, this is just how we do it, it's always how we've done it, and therefore we're going to do it this way. And they decide, okay, let's have this argument not in the bridge where they'll figure out that we're being possessed. But look, we'll have the argument while creepily inhabiting Trip and Hoshi's bodies while they're passed out. And Phlox, who's peeping, as usual, sees this and gets one of his righteous doctor speeches, and it's probably the most I've ever liked Phlox. Pity the aliens wipe his memory of this, and he goes back to his normal, cantankerous self. Later, Archer and Phlox decide to bring the patients into sickbay to zap them with radiation or something, but it so doesn't work. And Archer gets himself exposed to the disease while trying to save them, but he has to watch them die anyway. Whoopsies. Until the aliens possess their corpses for fun to talk to Archer. And Archer speechifies at them about how fucking rude it is to not help people who get exposed to a disease. And shockingly, he doesn't shout at them, which good on Archer for a change. And apparently it works! Trip and Hoshi make a miraculous recovery from death. And no one remembers how, except that, you know what? We should totally put a warning buoy around this planet. Oh, and it's revealed the aliens are the Organians, so the fans can wank the end.
But they have to conveniently wipe everybody's memory of them because by Kirk's time, we don't know who the Organians are.
Are the Organians the ones that, literally did this exact same thing and, they took over Spock's body and they got all of
No, that was...
Return of Tomorrow.
Yeah. No, the Organians were the ones that were, their planet had been taken over by Klingons, and Kirk was like, you need to rebel, and they're like, we don't really care.
They were trying to do a, let's watch them fight. Let's see if they have a war over us.
Yeah, and then at the end they were like, all right, you two aren't allowed to go to war, or we'll just stop it because we're super beings. And the Klingons and humans were like, we will reluctantly agree to this because we have no law to... we just literally can't stop you, so...
And they dye their goats green.
Yes.
Like fluorescent colored goats.
Actually, was that the one with, was that one where the Klingon was the Squire Gothos?
No, that was...
That's Trouble with Tribbles.
Yeah, Trouble.
Oh, that's right, that's right.
This was Core.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this was our first meeting of Core.
Right, okay.
And our first meeting with Organians. But apparently, this was our first meeting with Organians.
I think Kevin Uxbridge might have been an Organian.
I'd buy it.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Core,
Except that the internet tells me that he's a Daoud. Or
Yeah, I
something.
think they actually did say that, but I'm going back to Organian.
Yeah, they didn't need to be the Organians. Could have just been some new non-corporeal being. They come up constantly.
Of all the constant name drop things, this one probably bothered me less than, say, Romulans last week.
I mean, I think it's fine. I think it's in character for the Organians because they do have a history of, like, trying to stir shit up.
Yeah.
A claim they're just observing.
I like, my thing at first was like, it kind of felt like that Voyager episode, but just they weren't doing the experiments directly.
Oh, the one where everybody had, like, the apparatus
Oh,
on them.
scientific method.
Yeah, like it kind of felt like that at first, and then it kind of did its own thing. And like, I'm always down for a discussion of the failings of a one-size-fits-all prime directive, because like there are times where I'm just like this, you know, they I feel like not just, you know, again, either setting up a warning buoy or digging out the meteorite and throwing it into a sun, like,
I mean, having Phlox and Archer,
of all people,
try to convince them to interfere after
After all
fucking
the things
Dear
they've
Doctor, especially after Dear Doctor, where they like specifically were like, yeah, we're not going to interfere with the natural development of these people.
But I feel
But
like
it's Trip and Hoshi, and we've run out of Sims.
But, you know, I mean, the hypocrisy of them especially aside, I feel like in general that is a sort of recurring failure of the Prime Directive. Of, again, like, I know this is my go-to example constantly, but, like, that one TNG where there's a civil war. And it's like, we don't interfere. It's like, you are an active trade partner of one side of a civil war. You've involved yourself.
Yeah, you're interfering.
You know, or, like, again, like, you know, when they talk about the natural evolution of a planet, like, I could totally see Starfleet being like, yeah, we'll put a warning buoy, but, like, we're not necessarily going to remove this meteorite because it's supposed to be there. And it's just like, I mean, I guess, but...
But on the other hand, some species just evolve to the point where they're meant to be genocided. I
Yeah.
mean, you know,
Well, and it's like, I can't think of a good example off the top of my head that isn't from something we haven't covered, but... You know, mild spoilers for the very first episode of Discovery, which is now incredibly old. But, like, their whole thing is they're going to a planet, and it's kind of dodgy, because it's like, well, this planet's, like, ecosystem has been fucked because of nearby mining, and we really technically shouldn't be here because Prime Directive. And it's like, no, but the Prime Directive's already fucked. Like, nearby it's the Brannigan's Law thing.
Yeah.
You know, where it's like, we fucked up with this planet with mining, so now it has to be allowed to destroy because we're not allowed to interfere. It's like, what?
The mining.
Like, I just feel like that there's many times where, rather than actually being about not interfering, the Prime Directive becomes let's just hide behind this thing so we don't have to get involved and or make tough decisions.
So here's the question with this, because this is kind of the Organians' variant of a Prime Directive.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're doing a duck blind, essentially, except that they have massive mental powers.
Yeah.
What exactly are they trying to learn by witnessing our ways that we deal with the pathogen?
I think they're trying.
Do we
to
kill
see...
them, or do we not kill them?
No,
and
I
kill
think they're
ourselves?
just trying. I think they're collecting data. I think they're trying to figure out, okay, what are the species? Like, what do different species do when confronted with this thing?
Yeah, and what's weird about it is it's like, it feels, especially with the Reed one, like, it feels like even they've kind of lost track of what the goal was, because it feels like no response is good enough. So, like, they really just seem to want to see how people react to dying, and that's a little fucked up.
Yeah, I think the joke that I think was Keith DiCandido said in his review was, is the only, like, right answer when you get exposed to this pathogen turn into an omnipotent being?
I think so.
Because very few people are going to do that.
It's starting to feel like it. I do appreciate, by the way, that you mentioned, because I had the same thought. It's like, this is amazing. These are the most lines Anthony Montgomery has ever gotten, but he's technically not Mayweather.
I still think, does Mayweather still not get a line in this? I'm pretty sure he doesn't. Because we see him very, very briefly as Mayweather on the bridge, just kind of like, I'm driving the ship, but he doesn't say anything.
But it was nice of them to give him a season and a half's worth of dialogue for one episode.
Yeah, for a character he's never played before.
So,
Yeah.
are the Organians... So they go into somebody, obviously they're taking over. Do they then implant or, like, create false memories for the person once they leave?
I was wondering that too, because, like, even if they don't remember being possessed, they should then be like, what the fuck was I doing
did
for
I
the
just
last
black
6
out?
hours?
Yeah.
How did I get into sick?
How much did I drink?
Yeah, so they must have to be creating false memories of them doing stuff.
I also hope they're going back and like deleting recordings and stuff, because like otherwise it's like, you know, Phlox later on, yeah, they wiped his memory, but he's like, going through my files. Hoshi and Trip stood up and are having a conversation. What the fuck?
They
When did this
shouldn't.
happen?
They shouldn't be
Files.
awake.
Fair.
I don't think Phlox would go through the files.
Yeah, and they are pretty stupid though for not thinking, oh, there's probably a camera in here.
Yeah, that's incredibly dumb. Like, you know they have cameras. You've been possessing them. And if
Yeah,
anyone...
you've been Phlox. You literally know that
Yeah.
Phlox has a camera pointed at that room.
But also...
In every room.
Yeah.
Because he's a
Ugh.
creeper.
But they also, I guess, know that no matter what happens, there's no consequences to them because they can
Yeah.
just fix it.
That's true.
Yeah, they can blank your memory. That was the one redeeming Phlox moment that I've seen is just how like righteous he gets when he's talking to the Organians about how fucked up this is, and it's like, oh, I wrote down the line because it's actually a good line. No wonder you erase memories. Your behavior is appalling.
I thought that was great.
It's
Might
a-
be
the best
delivered
Phlox
it
moments.
beautifully.
I would say it's a good line. I just wish it had come out of a better doctor than Phlox, who again decided evolution justifies genocide.
People love Phlox.
I know,
Everybody
I
made bad
know.
decisions that season, you know? Was that season 2 or 3?
Season 1.
Yeah,
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Alright, well, I guess maybe we weren't all making bad decisions yet. Except
but it is a good line.
Yeah,
yes.
like that's a good Floxy moment. Like he figures it out immediately. Archer and DePaul storm in. He's like, "Oh God, I know you guys aren't you."
That's what the
Whoopsies.
I guess again, like you said, Jake, because they know there's basically no. Well, here's the thing: they know there's no consequences, but at the same time, like it's like that time Tom was taken over by a guy and almost immediately gave away the fact that he wasn't Tom.
Oh yeah,
And it's
Steph
like-
was terrible at this.
Yeah, it's like when fucking Mayweather is there, like grilling them about how they're feeling in the thing, and it's just like, dude, they're gonna know those are strange questions. How are you people not better at this?
When Hoshi and Trip are talking in the decon chamber and they look over and they realize that Phlox and T'Pol are just staring at
Yeah.
them. That was a good moment.
That was good.
shouldn't you guys be running tests? Something?
Should you guys-
we like to watch.
Yeah, I was like, shouldn't you guys be not creeping
But
on us?
I also liked how annoyed Trip was getting that
Oh, when Mayweather
when
kept bugging him?
Mayweather
Yeah.
kept asking questions. And when Archer showed up, he's like, "Is that fucking you again, Mayweather? You fucking piece of shit!"
Trip, you never... Trip's like, Mayweather, you never fucking talk this much. Oh.
That's the giveaway.
I was like, Captain, something's up. Mayweather's talking so much and he ain't done a single prank.
I heard a voice on the ship I've never heard before. It turned out it was coming from Mayweather.
Oh god, speaking of pranks, we got some Hoshi background.
Yeah, this was
Holy
the
shit.
most
yeah.
background we've got from Hoshi, and now it's like, fucking finally! She's deserved this, come on.
Yeah, but I kind of feel like they did her dirty. She broke someone's arm over a poker game.
They deserved it.
Yeah, but that's like very, like, it just feels like an overreaction.
Yeah, but future broken arm, it's like,
So, yeah.
It's a stubbed
It's
toe.
not
They
that
healed
big
it
a
up in
deal.
5 minutes.
But honestly, though, it also kind of tracks with what they've established of Hoshi, where, like, she knows how to do this thing, and someone surprises her, so she overreacts and just does the thing.
It's like, it's like Rambo.
Which is why women shouldn't be president. Am I right, folks?
There you go.
Yikes.
I'm just kidding.
No, but just her getting kicked out of Starfleet Academy gives her that different perspective.
Mm.
And, like, how, they basically had to, like, rush her through to be like, oh, we want her on the Enterprise, though, because we need linguists. Fine, she's allowed, even though we kicked her out. And she's got a black belt in Aikido, she said.
Yeah, that was cool.
She learned on Venus.
She suddenly became an interesting character.
Yeah, if only this had been there from, day one, and would ever get referenced again, because I bet it
But
doesn't.
like it also does. It's also not really consistent because if she was such a great martial artist, why didn't they ever show her doing martial arts before?
What is
Why
this,
didn't they ever
TNG?
show her doing anything?
Remember when?
There it is.
Well, you remember like there was a time when Reed was trying to teach her how to fire a weapon, and she was terrible at it.
Well, being fair, that's a
you don't
different
have a
skill
lot
I
of-
set.
know it's a
They have a
different
lot
skill
of
set,
guns and
but like
martial
that would
arts.
have been an opportunity
Yeah,
for
for
her
her to say, I'm not a
Yeah,
good
like,
gun
I'm-
That would have been
yeah.
an opportunity for her to disarm him brilliantly and be like, I don't need your fucking gun, Reed.
And then he would have got a very confused boner.
Oh, so confused.
Yeah, seriously, why not Reed and Hoshi?
I don't mind it. They're both
Because Reed
nerds.
is such a fucking panty waist and doesn't deserve
That's the thing. I
happiness.
feel like both of
No.
them have been established to be socially awkward enough that in reality they would be a great pair.
She worked real hard to find out his cake.
But because they're both socially awkward, they'll never make the first move.
True.
No. It's true.
Also, speaking of cake, Reed's obsessed with T'Pol's ass, so
That's the next episode.
I know, but we've already, but like the
We
fact that
already
it
know.
the fact that it comes up a second time,
So awful.
No, I loved it. I thought that was a great
it
callback.
is a good callback.
They were
but-
like, we remember that this show existed 3 years
but
ago.
it also just shows how fucking pathetic Reed is.
Yeah.
But anyway, speaking of pathetic,
Good.
This show?
why didn't the fucking Organians just leap into Phlox? Why did they need to have Archer and T'Pol confront him?
Get new perspective.
Mm.
Yeah, I guess they learned how Phlox thinks.
Yeah, that's the thing about this episode. I can't tell if it's a very good story, but I think it's executed very well.
Yeah.
Like, it's acted well. Everyone gets to play one of these aliens at one point or another, which is kind of cool. Like, it is the ultimate bottle episode.
Yeah.
In that way, and I think like the tension, like when you first see Trip and Hoshi wake up when they've been knocked out in quarantine,
Oh, yeah.
that's a trippy scene. And when you see Phlox notice, it's like, oh, this is getting creepy and weird. Like the tone of it, they do a good job keeping suspenseful.
And they're usually not great at that. Like, so I thought it was actually, like, it was definitely, not obviously, like, quite the same content, but it felt like there were, like, shades of Alien. Like, there was that building tension and, like, the alien threat and, like, I don't know, I thought it was... I really liked it. I was like, this might be the best episode of this show.
yeah,
also
when
like-
Trip wakes back up, when Hoshi wakes back up, great.
Oh, creepy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, when she just sits up and starts talking.
Yes.
Ugh, creepy.
For a minute, I thought they really had killed Hoshi, because... Like, especially because they open with, like, someone always dies. And I was like, oh my god, have you, the writers, also noticed that no one ever dies in this show? And now you're telling us fucking buckle up, Buttercup, it's
Well,
coming.
Someone always dies, and she did die.
Yeah, technically
So they chose
And
to
Trip.
do it.
That's fucking crazy.
I liked the scene where she breaks out of the decon chamber
Yeah.
and tries to escape.
Because now Gollum was right to kidnap her for code breaking.
Exactly.
Apparently,
I was like,
yeah.
that
was awesome.
That is a
Math
callback
is just another language.
to how she's a good code breaker.
She's a
apparently.
fucking badass. I really wish
They gotta do
this
more
show
with
didn't
her.
do Hoshi so dirty, you know?
Yeah. You reminded me, though, too. Like, Trip not thinking shit through. It's like, all right, Trip, you've just used this you've used this horse tranquilizer on Hoshi. Now use it on yourself. It's like, righto. But he didn't lie down
Maybe you
first.
should sit down. And he was, what did he say? He had a good response. Because
I
Fox was like,
agree
you need
or
to lay
something.
down right away.
Yeah.
And he was like,
Yeah, no argument from me there or something.
yeah, it was something
It's like,
like that.
Why
I thought it was
didn't why
great.
didn't he lie down first?
I thought the same
Like,
thing.
There's potentially it alternate version of this story injects it, collapses, cracks his head off that bench and dies from head
Yeah,
trauma,
really. And the
not
Organians
disease.
can't save him because of the massive trauma to his cranium.
He fucking does that. Reed goes, the fuck? And Mayweather's like, what? It's like, 800 years, that's fucking new. Goddamned idiots.
Well, we've never seen this.
That's the one thing that this show, especially, but probably all of Star Trek in general, does that I never care for, is they try to make humans special. And I think the younger of the two Organians keeps saying, won't you admit that humans are different? It's like, we're not.
Yeah, are we?
Of all the fucking species out there, we meet a new species every week in TOS and all this stuff, and so many of them are just, they're not very different from humans.
But see, the difference is all the aliens are a single aspect of humanity,
Uh,
cranked to 11. We're the only species that's allowed to be complex and well-rounded.
We're the balanced. We're the balanced species.
Yeah.
That's idiotic. What is special about humans? Archer decided to take his suit off and get himself exposed to pathogen? Is that special?
Well,
What the fuck?
his self-sacrifice for the one for many.
But that's a Vulcan idiom.
Yeah, what did Vulcans do with this test?
Oh, they did not let the crewmen back on the ship.
Why
Yeah,
didn't they nuke the
absolutely
planet
not.
from orbit?
They didn't even stick around long enough to figure out why it happened. They was like, we're never going back here. Should we warn the humans? Nope.
We hate those little bastards. Let them figure it out. They want to be in space so bad? Good luck, humans. But yeah, there
do
was
the reverse. Fucking live long and
live
prosper.
short and go fuck yourself. Actually,
One other credit I'll give this episode, because normally, like, you see characters play chess as a metaphor for this, that, and the other thing. But in this one, it's that the aliens figure out the metaphor for chess. And it's kind of funny that they're like, oh, they'll never play all the possibilities because their lifespans are so short.
Yeah.
But we can already, like, envision them all and be like, oh, I can see how this game will go after 2 moves.
Thank God, though, there wasn't, because I could totally see this season pulling this. One of them going, it would be more complex if there were multiple levels.
Oh, thank God they didn't.
Oh, that would have been awesome,
No,
actually.
it's too dumb.
No, it would have been terrible, but I would have liked it.
But the other thing is, like, if they can envision all, 10 to the 23rd power, whatever, possible games at once, what's the point of even playing?
Well, see, what's interesting is it seems to be the way they're playing, and this is actually kind of... I bet people who are super good at chess could totally do this, where it's just like they seem to be setting up... They're not just setting up the board blank. They're setting up as though they had already done a bunch of moves themselves. But that's kind of potentially, if I don't understand how chess works in an advanced way at all. I'm just so we're fucking clear. I mean, that should be obvious. I'm an idiot. But, like...
Stop it.
Well, I'm not a chess genius. But...
The same thing as not an idiot, yeah.
Doesn't mean you're not... Yeah, it doesn't mean you're an idiot.
It doesn't mean you're not an idiot.
I guess what I'm saying is, audience, I'm not claiming to be a
Jake, don't
chess
help him.
person. But, like, if you set up one side, like, all right, these are the first, 10 moves I would have done. But then the other person sets it up, like, these are the first 10 moves I would have done. But you're doing that without knowing what the other side had done. That could lead to it. Because from what I've read and from what I understand, because I have read about this sort of thing, is, like, in some ways, for professionals, chess is kind of boring. Because it's, like, there's all these now long established and predetermined, moves and counter moves.
Well, I think... because there are so many possible moves the farther into a game you get,
Yeah.
No chess game has ever been repeated.
Right.
But, the first, there's, opening books.
Exactly.
There's, the first n number of moves. There's some opening moves that are just objectively bad. You're gonna, if
that's
you
what I was
want to
getting
win,
at, yeah.
So,
the
all
ones
the,
I make.
all the best ones, they already know, and if you're a checkspert,
Someone who eats a lot of checks.
a chesspert, you have the best ones memorized.
Yeah. So it's interesting, the idea of I'd almost love to see 2 actual chess pros. They're set up, they have a wall between them, and it's like, all right, this is where I want to be in 10 moves, and the other one's like, this is where I want to be in 10 moves, and you lift it up, and you're just like, oh, these games were incompatible, and now our strategies are fucked. And that seems to be what the Organians were doing, because they had some of the pieces on the board in different areas, and it's they both sort of started at move 10 and had to figure out who would have won.
I like that Reed is also the resident chess expert on the ship.
Was it actually Reed, or was it actually the Organian?
I'm pretty sure it was Reed, because I think they were kind of
he
reading
would.
their thoughts and shit.
Yeah, and also he would. I mean,
Yeah,
who
that
else
feels
is gonna?
Reed. That's one of those things. Reed doesn't even like chess, but he was supposed to play it a lot to keep his father happy, so he did.
Yeah, begrudgingly.
I buy it.
Crying.
He's actually he fucking hates chess, but he's really good at it. That tracks for his character.
That does.
Poor guy.
He always he preferred Settlers of Catan.
Well, but you need someone to play with then. You can't play against the computer as easily.
By the mid 22nd century, the AI is really good.
That's probably true.
Neat.
Yep, this sure was an episode.
Yeah, no, it's just.
It was an interesting discussion. I think, Ames, though, you put it best. Not sure if it was good, but it was executed well.
Yeah. Like a good bottle episode, it's more about the characters and kind of their ways of dealing with a circumstance than it is about the circumstance.
Yeah, and like a good neighbor, State Farm is
State
there.
Farm is
Yeah,
there.
we finally get some Hoshi. We get some more. Trip tells the story about how he took apart his dining room table before Thanksgiving, and that was cute.
When he was 24.
I like that he said that. I kind of felt like it was a joke, but I'm not sure.
I can't tell if it was a joke.
Yeah.
But it could go either way.
With Trip, yeah.
Well, because I feel like that's a dad joke. I'll say, remember when I did something really embarrassing and stupid? And he was like, yeah, what was that, last year? And it's like, no, it's when I was 6, but that's the joke. So I was like, is this that joke? Or...
I feel, with him, it's honestly a coin toss. He might have actually been 24. Who knows?
Cool. So that's Observer Effect. Let's see what we think about Babel One.
Yeah.
Oh boy, it's another one of our three-parters. I think this is the last three-parter of the season, but there's going to be a bunch of two-parters coming
I was
out.
gonna say there's definitely more multi-parters
Yeah,
at the very least.
this season is a strangely put together one. But Babel One is the first of another three-parter. This one about Tellarites or some shit. Let's get into this. What's the synopsis?
Romulans.
What's going
Once
on?
again, Romulans.
Let's start with the Kumari, Shran's ship, is getting attacked utterly by a Tellarite ship, and Shran is barely left alive. Whoopsie. Meanwhile, Archer is transporting a Tellarite delegation led by Growl to some peace talks with the Andorians at Babel. You know, like in Journey to Babel. Very same
They're
vibe.
making the journey to Babel.
Archer picks up Shran's stranded crew on the way, and everyone is suddenly very heated because Tellarites and Andorians hate each other.
I don't know
and
how you
these
just
two
said
especially.
Shran stranded so easily. That's tricky. That's a tongue
Ooh.
twister.
Stranded.
Stranded crew.
Only Shrans.
Suddenly, holy shit, another Andorian ship attacks the Enterprise for a little while until it just sort of goes away on its own. What gives, Shran? What gives, Growl? What of the peace talks? So now that everyone hates each other even more, but it turns out that ship that just attacked us and attacked Shran's ship is actually, the same ship. It's a hologram ship, you know, that can mimic other shapes, you know, for reasons.
Everybody's least favorite part of that James Bond film. In Star Wars Trek, rather.
What?
Which one was that? With the car? The invisible car?
Die Another Day.
There you go.
Sure, I believe you. And also turns out that the ship is Romulan, you know, also for reasons. And we meet Romulan Admiral Valdor and his scientist friend, Nigil. And they're having the usual elaborate schemes about something or other. Enterprise catches back up with that ship and beams Reed, Tucker, and some useless Makos aboard to go check things out.
That you can just say Makos. It's redundant.
The ships start attacking each other a little bit until Enterprise retreats, leaving just Reed and Trip because, you know, they gave up on these Makos immediately. Stranded with their O2 levels dwindling. Meanwhile, there's a lot of fucking plots going on. I started thinking to myself, like, oh my god, this is a three-parter and there's already this much going on. Holy shit.
Oh, don't you? We're just getting started.
Oh dear. See, I don't know this three-parter, so this is fascinating to me. So, we've got Shran and Talus, who we remember from Proving Ground, and apparently didn't fuck Reed, but now is fucking Shran. Neat. They get out of their quarters and go attack the Tellarites for a while until Archer puts an end to that. Trip and Reed find some oxygen and then make their way to the bridge, only to find... Holy shit, guys!
Mm-hmm.
This ship is actually unmanned.
Yep.
Those Romulans that we saw controlling it are actually on Romulus. For reasons! Which is the theme of this episode.
Because they figured out, they were like, why the fuck would we go put ourselves at risk when we could just fucking send this fucking drone ship out to do our bidding?
Yeah, which I'm sure we'll explore more in part 2. But this is the end of part 1.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I remember the Hollow ship and all that. I don't really remember where this one goes beyond that.
They introduce there's a whole nother major plot element of this three-parter that hasn't even been introduced yet.
Amazing.
Is it a major spoiler kind of thing?
It's not really major. I mean, there's
next week we'll talk about it at length.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah, just suffice
it's actually
it to say,
Spock, son of a bitch.
Whole, you think this is about the Andorians and the Tellarites and the Romulans? There's a fourth fucking species at play here that hasn't even been introduced.
Orions? I bet
it's not even the Orions.
Oh, the Breen would change everything.
But yeah, man, okay. So Archer makes a good point at one point. He's like, man,
oh, this is bullshit.
Fuck my life. When he's talking to Shran, and he's like, you know, you guys always seem to be feuding with somebody, and Shran's like, yeah, well, you know, Andorians and Tellarites are natural enemies, just like Vulcans and Andorians and humans and Andorians, or Orions and Andorians, or Andorians and Andorians, and damn Andorians, they ruined Andoria!
Groundskeeper Willie bursts in.
They have had so many civil wars.
But like, seriously though, the Andorians do seem to have a lot of feuds, don't they?
Yeah, they are.
But they like Archer, or at least one Andorian.
For now, they're friends. For now.
Yeah, like we're very in the world of Star Trek, everyone's very lucky Shran decided Archer was attractive because otherwise,
For a pink skin.
nothing ever would have happened.
And that kind of becomes my question is, so we send Archer off to negotiate these peace talks when Archer is emphatically not qualified for this.
They needed a neutral party, and humans are technically neutral.
No, not Forrest, he's dead. Who's left?
Send the NX-2, she's ready.
Yeah.
Captain, what's her name? I can't remember.
I've lost it. It's good. Archer's girlfriend.
Yeah, Captain Archer's girlfriend.
Hernandez?
Maybe?
Yeah, that sounds right.
I mean, here's the thing. It was probably at the insistence of Shran.
Oh, I bet. But the thing is, Archer's so bad at this kind of shit. Like, they start fighting and he just shoots one of them.
Well, it stops the fight.
It does.
It's effective.
But Shran's girlfriend died.
No, she just...
She's okay.
No.
Did she die?
I think she died.
I don't know if she died,
She
but
got
I
shot
think
in the
she's
shoulder.
I think
Yeah, he
she's
said it
gonna
was
die.
a flesh wound.
Yeah, but if you were holding your dying
Yeah,
fiance,
it was
you also
but they
made lie to
definitely
her.
played it like a...
Yeah, I don't remember if she dies or not, but she hasn't yet, at the very
Aw.
least.
Shran says you'll be okay. Was that lying?
Well, everyone says that. You'll be okay, don't
You're
worry.
not like, yeah, it's
just
pretty
a flesh
bad.
wound.
Oh, yeah.
Remember
like,
when O'Brien was
it-
lying to
it-
his buddy?
Did look like the injury was in her shoulder,
It
which,
did.
yes, in the real world, the shoulder actually contains a very important artery, so a shoulder wound is bad. But in the worlds of television and film, shoulder is like the most survivable wound.
But in Star Trek, it's the most survivable wound because Phlox has a regenerator.
Well, yes. I do appreciate this little insight we get into Andorian mating habits, which
Do
is...
you? I don't care.
Oh, no, I don't really, I would have been fine without it, but I
It's
do...
just the same as Cardassian mating habits.
I just don't like the word mate.
Yeah, as well.
It's like,
Well, see-
I could either report her for
Well, see,
dissension or
Cardassians...
mate with her.
It sounds like
whatever.
Cardassians engage in, mutual negging. Whereas it sounds like with Andorians, the woman shows up and goes, I would like to fuck you now, and the guy goes,
She just
Okay.
slaps him with her tits and says, "You want this?"
yeah, it sounds like very much the women initiate, which
What?
I enjoy.
Imagining someone spiking a titty into somebody's face like it's a volleyball. Like,
Wow.
But I also
your
get the
fault,
sense
Ames.
that
No,
I
it's
think
fine.
she's an operator though, because she was pulling the same shit with Reed in Proving Ground. Remember?
Well, that's because she was supposed to. I think she genuinely wants to fuck Shran, because,
She
I
did.
mean, it's Shran. Look
who
at that.
doesn't wanna?
either that or she's just she's trying to take advantage of him.
I don't know. I think she also, between Shran and Reed, I think she just likes her men a little shorter than her.
Maybe it's got to be it.
Whatever, we like
She
the
likes a
short
short
king. Yeah, that's right, we do.
No, I have nothing against it, but it does seem to be to her taste.
Yeah, she did also have to spend hours and hours in the makeup chair.
Oh, I don't doubt it.
Because, when she comes out in just her
Oh, that's
underwear,
right.
she had to get her whole body painted blue.
Oh my god, that
Which
was
takes
a
a while.
nightmare.
Little
Yeah.
boy Blue, he needed the money.
Yeah, that was pretty sexy though. The seduction. scene.
Like the seduction
That was
scene?
pretty good.
I thought the makeup should have just shot her.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like, you got stun saying! Stun!
being fair,
The bitch.
up close.
She was already stunning, Ames.
Heyo.
Up close, stun can be a problem.
You're
Now,
not
Pistol
an
whip.
Andorian.
Mm.
She beat the shit out of him.
That's true, yeah.
They're made of sterner stuff.
Yeah, no, Andorians are definitely, or at least the men are very much, all into getting stepped on, right?
probably.
It's probably like having their antennae pulled on.
Oh no,
Sounding for their
a
antennae.
new kind of umox.
Yikes.
I like those antennae. I'm into it.
Numox.
They're not
Numox.
moving around too much.
But spelled like new metal, so N with an U umlaut,
Nice.
new numlocks.
But yes, I could have done without the, let's have you try to seduce him, because, of course, Star Trek found an excuse to put this poor woman in her underwear. But I do like her as a character. She's fun.
Yeah, she's good. Yeah, I do like her. I like Talos. I kind of miss the Susie Plaxton Andorian that we had in there.
Well, yeah, but she's in prison.
I know.
Yeah, she didn't get along with Shran. This one does.
I bet she and Shran could have had some good hate fuck though.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
And I would like to have
She's
watched.
so tall.
She is.
She would have just thrown him around. Mm.
But
Anyway.
it does feel like they're like, we need another sassy Andorian woman. But we
No problem. We've decided that all Andorian women are like this.
the two of two that we've encountered are.
That have had lines.
There was a green Andorian female in the holodeck in TNG.
Oh, that's right.
When
Lal.
Lal was considering.
Ugh.
Maybe that's just a different race within the Andorians.
Well, because don't we have? What was it? Strange New Worlds where we had
The Einar.
Yeah.
The old Hammer.
No,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
next week.
I loved Hemmer.
Yeah, that was what I was referring to earlier when I said there was a whole fourth race that hasn't been.
Oh, that's this one. Okay.
Oh,
What?
That's next week. Then.
The Einar are showing up?
There's a huge. That's the next. Yeah.
Yeah, mild spoiler.
If you've
Enterprise
looked ahead
introduces.
if you've looked ahead
No
at the
way.
episode titles, it's not really a spoiler, but
Yeah,
I haven't.
yeah.
The Enterprise.
The next
introduces-
episode's just called Enter the Einar.
It's the next, not the next episode, but I think the final episode
Yeah.
of the
It's just
three-parter is called The Einar.
Oh.
But yeah, there's Enterprise introduced the Einar.
Yeah.
Well, so Enterprise did do something good.
Yeah.
I mean, they the one thing I'll give them as someone who really enjoyed TOS is they brought back a bunch of TOS species. You know, like Andorians we haven't seen a Tellarite since TOS, and
I
brought back
love the
Andorians.
Tellarites in this show. Like I like the makeup is great. I think we've talked about that before anyway. But also like this new thing about like they really want you to just be rude to them.
Yeah.
Like it feels kind of like it's a little Klingon-y in the sense of like if a Klingon punches you in the dick, you have to punch him back in the dick or else you've lost his
Yeah.
respect. It felt kind of like that, but
It's like
I kind of love it.
It's so like with Klingons, it's physical
Yeah.
violence. With Tellarites, it's emotional violence.
Yeah,
Garrick would have done well, you know, when he's got the
Yeah.
shit kicked out of him. He's like, I've
got in several cutting remarks.
Yeah, I think all of it is just a way of rationalizing a line that Sarek must have had in Journey to Babel when he says, Tellarites they do nothing but argue or some shit.
Oh, I
yeah,
forgot
that's
about
right.
that.
Journey to Babel, they sure do.
But it is kind of fun, and like as a fan of a lot of the streaming Trek stuff, and especially Prodigy, we get to see a bit more of the Tellarites. And in Discovery, we get a bit more Tellarite that jumps off from this interpretation. I did love the line that was like, a species that thrives on arguments. It's like, Reed, have you not heard of the internet? Like,
Nah. What did you guys think of that intro kind of fake out scene with Hoshi and Archer arguing, and you're thinking, oh no, they're really mad, and he might make Hoshi leave or some shit.
It was
but it turns out it's practice.
It was obvious pretty quickly that it wasn't really.
Yeah, but here's the thing. With Hoshi, you're like, man, she's really behaving out of character. And with Archer, you're like, man, he's really toning it down a bit. he's softened in his old age.
Until he called her fat, then I was like, Archer, what the fuck?
Yeah, I didn't need that.
But
yeah, because that was also improv.
Yeah.
So it wasn't even like that wasn't even part of what they'd rehearsed. He was like, you know what? I'm going to use this as an excuse just to call her fat for no reason.
Hoshi looks like she's feeling pretty good about herself. Time to take her down a couple pegs by reminding her that she's a fatty.
Yeah, and
which she isn't.
How do you mediate with people like this who like pride themselves on being rude, and Archer does not have a handle on it yet?
Well, the other thing is,
Archer's just rude, so it's fine.
yeah,
There you
exactly.
go.
Like
That's true.
He was actually the best option for this. The Andorians already like him for some reason. He's good at being. No, we were wrong. He is the perfect choice for this mission.
Wow.
Sorry, you were gonna say something,
I
Jake?
was going to say that the Andorians or the Tellarites are going to they meet Archer and they're doing the thing where they're being rude and oh man, this ship looks like shit. This place sucks.
Should be hauled away as garbage.
The accommodations suck. And then afterwards,
cold.
cut to after the negotiations. There's just Tellarites in their quarters just sobbing, and they're like, "Archer is so fucking mean."
Aw.
I was gonna say the same thing.
I imagined him bringing like bacon to all of their negotiations.
Oh,
Sorry.
Jesus God.
It's like, what? You said you wanted
That
human
would
food.
hurt.
That's true. Yeah, we could eat this anywhere.
Yeah, I noticed while the Tellarite makeup, looks acceptable now, their costumes still look like they're out of TOS.
I know they got the fat flaps.
They have like the spangly kind of bright colored material. It's like, was this just in TOS?
Well, I noticed
Listen, the Tellarites are fabulous.
Tellus's underwear even was slightly sparkly material.
Yeah, I like that we're getting
Guys, they're
back to the
from space.
sparkly material. I like that aesthetic.
They're from space.
Sparkly,
Of course it's
sparkly fabrics.
Yeah.
Cool.
You can't and then not have anything.
Sorry, I was trying to have a thought. Well, my boys, the Romulans, are here.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about it yet. They're still in the Nemesis costumes, which
Yeah.
is bizarre to me.
It sure is a plan, guys. I don't know if it's convoluted enough is the problem.
Well, here's
it's
the
almost
thing.
straightforward.
They got a lot of irons in the fire. They're gonna start a war between the Vulcans and the Andorians. Then they're gonna start a separate war between the Tellarites and the Andorians.
Busybodies, these assholes.
They're just trying to start wars.
Without showing their faces.
We're gonna find out that the sphere builders were really just Romulans all along in disguise.
Future daddy, Romulan.
That would actually make the most fucking sense.
It might.
No, I told you.
Sela.
Yeah, it's Sela,
There
for
you
sure,
go.
100%.
I like that idea.
I'm picturing because busybodies, which is the perfect definition for them in this era. Like, they're like the fucking sitcom neighbor in the 50s, just always peering out the window.
Yeah.
Turns back, Abner! And Abner's like, who are you? Why do you look like that? Get out of my house.
But, like, okay, them trying to do a war between the Andorians and the Vulcans kind of makes sense if their goal is to take over Vulcan because they're weakening Vulcan. They can sneak in when everybody's fighting. Sure, I don't see what their end game here is trying to start something between the Andorians and the Tellarites.
Yeah, especially if the Andorians are already involved in the Vulcan thing. Now the Andorians are getting like pulled two different directions. They're going to be sucky in both wars.
Here's
the Vulcans will win.
If their main goal is just to destabilize the region, that's one thing. What it comes down to, I think, is one, the writers didn't think it through, but two, in universe, I could totally see the Romulans, like the Tal Shiar and their various intelligence agencies, being so paranoid and weird that no one tells anyone what anyone else is doing.
Oh, like the writers in the writers' room.
Yes. Or even, like, realistically, we know that there is deeply poor communication between the various intelligence apparatuses of this country. Where, like, the FBI and CIA are always kind of rivals, even though they're technically intelligence and counterintelligence and should be sharing things. So, like, I could totally see, like, one side is like, okay, we're going to cause a civil war on Vulcan. Whereas another's like, we're just going to try to destabilize the region and don't realize that their goals are completely at odds because neither knows the other plan is happening.
That does make sense, because I also feel like that's how it worked out between these episode arcs.
Yeah.
Is that someone said, okay, we're going to do this thing on Vulcan. Okay, you do that. We're going to do this thing with Andorian Tellarites. And both of them decide, like, independently of each other, we're both going to involve Romulans and not tell each other.
Mm.
Well, I think it feels... The whole Romulan... Okay, so the deal with the Romulans is we cannot have the humans directly meet the Romulans because that would break canon. But having the Romulans sort of operating in the shadows throughout this season is kind of cool because we know historically from TOS that there is a war that happens.
Which was, I think, supposed to be the season 5 arc, if we'd gotten to season 5.
Yeah.
Oh, quick note on that. It was directly after this episode aired that it was announced Enterprise was not renewed for season 5.
Good day.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it could have been interesting to see a Romulan war arc, but I don't know, maybe not.
Yeah, and I think they kind of found a way to make it easier for us to not ever see their faces if they use these unmanned ships.
Yeah.
It does seem like technology that's way beyond where we ever see Romulans literally ever again, even in, like, Picard.
Well, here's the thing. We don't know how good... Like,
it did break easily. That's
true. Breaks easily, and it's visually...
stupid.
The trick, the hologram ship, like, it tricks the Enterprise because they're, like, primitive sensors that probably can't see through
The ruse.
And we know that by TOS times, the Romulans have invented cloaking devices, so they don't need the hologram ships anymore.
Yeah.
I guess it kind of tracks that, they've always been interested in visual fuckery in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
But why give up on the holograms?
I mean, because it has one use. The use that you want
it has so many
you
uses.
want to pretend that
Birthday
your
party.
ship looks like a different ship. Also, birthday party, that would be pretty cool.
Any ship you want, we can get it for your birthday.
Look, I made it look like the Wienermobile.
I want one. I will say that their pilot navigator person who has to wear
The
like
stupid
the-
helmet.
the helmet and
Oh.
plug in. I love that look so much. It looks really trippy and neat, and that guy's my new favorite Romulan.
Whoever that is.
Yeah.
It's definitely Narek.
It's Sela for sure.
Everything is Sela.
Speaking of, did anyone notice our Tullaberry Romulan?
Excuse me?
The like the admiral,
Oh.
the Romulan.
Oh, is that who
That's
that
the
was?
guy
He
from the
was-
Tullaberry wine.
The guy that had the paint, the
Yeah.
face paint guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because he had like a really like
Distinctive
Yeah,
jaw.
that
jaw.
big-
Yes,
big
he
mouth.
did.
He's actually he was also 2 different Klingons and Jem'Hadar, but yeah,
He's good under makeup. This guy.
Yeah, but I was because again he's got that very distinct jaw. So when you see him like that's the Tullaberry guy.
Yep. I also have a great note.
I want his Tullaberry girlfriend to step on my balls. That's all I remember.
Who was that?
Oh, that's right.
Cyree?
There was
I
a
don't know,
woman.
There was a woman that was like
Yeah.
very.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dominatrixy. The
Yeah.
other casting note that I took down is that Lee Ehrenberg, who plays Grawl the Tellarite,
Mhm.
he played a Ferengi back in the Nagus, also named Grawl.
Oh, that's funny.
among
You
others.
didn't have to tell me he was playing a Ferengi. After you said his last name ended with Berg, I knew immediately.
Well, that's...
Hey, blame
that did
Berman.
happen a lot.
Yeah,
didn't
this-
it?
Blame Berman.
And this guy played a lot of Ferengi.
Yeah.
That's
well, no
funny.
shit. Because Star Trek is secretly racist.
Secretly?
Nah,
Yeah, just because it's not as blatant as Star Wars doesn't mean it's a secret.
that's true. Oh god, the fucking Trade Federation guys.
Oh gosh.
Anywho,
I have a great note here that just says, "Wait, Romulans? Why? I didn't ask for Romulans."
Excuse me, waiter.
Bring this- bring this back.
I didn't order these Romulans.
There's a fly in my Romulans.
There's a Romulan in my soup.
Yeah.
That's good. That could be the title.
but this is one of the. This is definitely among the more complex stories.
And it's a
Because-
3-parter, so there's
and
gonna be
it's-
more.
and like I say, like the whole Enar thing just hasn't even been touched upon yet.
Okay, that's interesting.
And it's a whole
In
nother
that case,
plot.
I'm curious how this pacing is gonna feel for this 3-parter.
Mm.
I have another note.
Well, they
Romulus.
nailed it. Good.
Romulus is so pretty.
Yeah, well,
I
we've
wanna-
seen-
I
we've
wanna
seen
go
it
to
before. Like I
Romulus.
feel like that they might have just reused assets from Nemesis.
I don't know, because like what I noticed with this one, and I haven't seen Nemesis since we watched it, so I don't
Why
quite
would you?
remember. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I remember the circular cities.
Well, they love that, but what
Did
I
we
can't.
see it in the Defector at all?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
But like what I noticed this time, and I didn't notice in Nemesis, and I'm not sure if it was like this, but if this isn't the same city on Romulus as that, like this one is almost like Venice because it seems to be like
Yeah.
right on the water,
It's
and there
so
seems to be
beautiful.
channels in it too.
Yeah, I do love the design of Romulus. It looks really cool.
Yeah, in the Defector we see like a wilderness when they go into the holodeck,
Yeah.
and
Mhm.
Jirok is like,
Oh yes, it looks just like my home
yeah,
planet.
but it's like,
I'm gonna
oh,
rewatch the Defector.
this
That's
is
a
a place that I like to
is a
visit.
good
I'll never
episode.
go there again. Damn it.
Poor Jarok. Good man. Yes, my other Romulan note is, so we get Organians last episode, we get Romulans this episode. What is this now? Lower decks?
Yeah, seriously.
And we got a good callback to Reed talking about Paul's bum.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yes,
of
we
course, this
did.
time Trip brought it up.
Well, but like,
You did like her bum, I remember.
it's because Reed's still horning on Talus, so you know.
Yeah, and I think we learned that Talus and he did not bang because she says, I've never had it with a human.
Mhm.
So either she's a filthy, filthy liar, or she
she's
left.
a filthy, filthy whore.
Yeah, or she. Oh yeah.
So
She was a hoo-ah.
having done a cursory Google, it does look like it's supposed to be the same city, but it is new footage.
New assets.
Cool.
Because the city is again right on the water. There's a whole bunch of like water that is kind of half in the city, half not. But this is like a higher res, higher angle shot here.
Oh,
So
yeah, I love Romulus. Romulus looks so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a cool looking planet. Yeah, they definitely. That's why I feel like I know that the story goes that the Romulans broke off from the Vulcans, but it just makes so much more sense if it's the other fucking way, and that the Vulcans were fucking religious zealots that went off to Vulcan to start their shit.
Yeah, become different
Because
factions
I
of
just
religious
don't
zealots.
see a fucking humanoid species evolving on Vulcan. It's just a fucking
Maybe
arid
that's why
wasteland.
Romulans wanted to leave because it's terrible.
Yeah.
again, though, we do know they did have a full scale nuclear war. Like the planet may have been nicer once.
Let's start a war. nuclear war at the gay bar.
Gay bar.
I was
Gay
reminded
bar.
of that song just a couple of weeks ago.
I don't think I know this song.
Oh yeah, actually, I was reminded.
Gay bar.
I was reminded because
Apparently.
of Star Trek shitposting.
Is it Electric Six? Is that
Yeah.
a band?
Yeah, same as High Voltage.
I don't know High Voltage.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
I've
definitely
heard
do.
it, but I don't. Yeah, but I don't know it like Gay Bar. Gay
But yeah,
Bar, I
they-
actually know the words.
They had a picture of the TOS Lincoln and put the lines underneath him.
Why?
Well, Lincoln's in the music video.
Oh.
Lincoln is the one wanting to take you to the gay bar in the music video.
Oh.
I got something
I
to
don't
put
think
in
I've never
you.
seen the music video.
Why Lincoln?
It's such a great. It's a good
Lincoln
song. I
loves
like it.
gay bars. Everyone knows this.
Didn't he?
Apparently.
Did he famously live with a good friend for many years?
No, but he did have some correspondence
Oh, yeah,
that people
yeah.
are like, he might have been bi.
Well, then maybe he does have something to put
John,
in you with the
that
gay
whole
bar.
John Wilkes Booth thing was a lover's spat.
Yikes.
That sounds like a really bad historic erotic fan fiction that I
Let's-
bet exists.
We should. If it doesn't, we should.
That's okay, but I'm sure it
I'm
does.
in. I'm in.
Presidential assassinations are in right now, guys. I don't know if you heard.
Fascinating. Let's move on. I liked that T'Pol didn't understand the idiom when in Rome. And she's like, what? I'm not going to bother to explain to you, Commander. All
When
right.
in Romulo.
Error.
Oh, now I get it.
Yeah, seriously, later on when Vulcans like learn about Roman history and they look at Romulus, they're just like, what the fuck? What the fuck happened here? You know what? We're just gonna pretend this didn't happen because this is too weird. The Vulcan science director is gonna ignore this one.
We all come from
No,
the
that's
same
what you understand that
alien
ancient
kids.
Earth history is a Romulan plot.
Oh my god.
Sela went back in time, founded the city of Rome.
Honestly, a lot of Star Trek makes way more sense if Sela is actually just fucking around. That could even retroactively explain that stupid Roman planet from TOS.
It
That's
would.
right. That was Sela's first try.
All right, writers, get on it. We need Star Trek Silo. We need it now.
And so does Denise Crosby, probably.
Probably.
Oh my god.
She's doing something, I'm sure.
Yeah, she's keeping busy.
I'm sure.
Really? Name a project.
She's a nepo baby to start with. She's fine.
Really?
Oh, is she?
She's Bing
Bing
Crosby's granddaughter.
What? I never knew that. It never even occurred to me she might be one of those Crosbys.
Okay, but like, I mean, kids today don't even know who Bing Crosby is anymore.
Yeah, but you know what? His family still makes a ton of money every Christmas from fucking
Well, like,
song
he
sales.
did make the best fucking Christmas album. This cannot be helped.
The NSYNC album? That was him.
Oh, dude, I love. You're right. That is a great album. I love that album.
Yeah, hell, Ensign Seth MacFarlane has a decent one even.
It's got two.
True.
But
Yeah,
the
one of
second-
them, one's better than the other.
Well, I don't like the second one because it's all duets.
Yeah.
And I'm a bitch.
What has she done
I don't have
lately?
someone to sing
She's
with.
apparently
damn it.
been in 10 episodes of General Hospital in the last couple of years.
What has she done recently? Oh.
Spent her grandfather's
she
money.
She was the narrator of a Star Trek TNG. No, was it TNG? Which one did she do?
She did,
Voyager?
no, she did,
Trekkies.
Oh,
Thank you.
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that was like 30 years ago. Yeah. She was in 3 episodes of The Walking Dead, apparently,
Oh,
no
wow.
kidding.
in 2014.
Good for her.
She's listed here as zombie food number 12. Weird.
Oh, apparently she voiced a character in Star Trek Online.
Sela?
Was it?
Sela and Tasha Yar.
Oh.
Typecasting.
Actually, yes, no, I think I knew they did a whole, like, storyline with Sela. I just
Apparently
forgot.
she was in an episode of something called a TV series called Star Trek Phase 2.
Oh, that's one of the, like, blessed by CBS fan things.
Oh. Should we watch it?
Probably
Yeah.
not.
I'd
She
watch
played
it. I would watch it.
Dr. Jenna Yar.
Oh boy.
I
I'd
wonder whose
rather-
ancestor that is.
I'd rather watch that than this.
Yes. We probably should do at some point some of these fan shows.
Yeah, why
the
not?
ones
We
the
should-
ones that are like the higher production value.
Let's
Yeah,
tack,
yeah.
Let's tack 3 more years onto this.
Yeah,
5-year
well, we-
mission.
Like the Orville.
We could do highlight ones, like the one that Walter's in.
Yeah, if the show features any original Star Trek actors, then it
A bunch of them do.
I know that's the
That,
thing.
yeah, that's true. Anyway, so
There's
we got,
also that horrible Snoop Dogg movie that has like dozens of Star
I
Trek
feel like
actors
you
in it.
mentioned that to
Yeah.
us once. Yeah,
Neat, Jake.
we'd have to
Wow.
watch at least one episode of Homeboys in Outer Space.
Getting back to this.
Scotty's in it.
Getting back to this. This Babel One episode. So we're running away from Romulan ship, at some point, because that's a usual thing we do. And it keeps gaining on us. We get to warp 5, which we knew last season was the hard one. But oh no, we've got these new
Injectors.
Mayweather, try them out, see if they work. We get to warp 5.06, and that's enough to get away.
Well,
it's so like convenient that all ships are kind of on the same scale right now.
It makes sense though, right? Because
well, it would make more sense if not for the fact that humanity's kind of late to the party.
It would also make more sense if the Romulans didn't literally have this like highly sophisticated drone.
Well, see, they've been focusing on remote control and holo technology, not warp drive. It does, I guess, I feel like, Jake, speak again to your theory that there is something special about a Cochrane warp drive. If, like, all these other species that have been out there for a while aren't as far ahead of humanity as they should be.
Well, but also, though, like, the Vulcans have faster ships.
True. They're also more patient, so they're not as worried about getting places as quickly. They live longer. Humans are in a rush.
But I do think, so Romulans, as we know, are going to have a quantum singularity base.
Yep. The fucking lunatics.
So, not a big deal. Apparently not fast. But yeah, I do like that the new injectors came back up, because that was a callback.
It was.
When did we get them? When we were on Earth?
No, we got them in E Squared.
Oh, in E Squared.
They were
that's right!
They were the injectors that future
True.
Enterprise
guy taught him how to make.
The question is, did the writers realize they were doing a callback, or did they just pull new injectors out of their ass and forget?
Definitely one of those.
I wouldn't also notice if it was something that they got upgraded when they went back to Earth briefly.
Well, I mean, it's a warp 5 ship, and they were going.
Now it's a warp 5.06.
Well, and you remember, like, the first time they actually made it to warp 5, the ship basically almost tore itself apart.
Yeah.
So calling it a warp 5 ship was generous initially. Now it's like, okay, we can actually go warp 5.
Technically correct. The best kind of correct.
They probably got better inertial dampeners and shored up some braces.
Yeah.
That's what's interesting. It seems like the Andorians are the only ones with shields right now. Because they even mentioned, I think, one of the other, I think the well, not real Tellarite ship, but the Romulan Tellarite ship or something. At some point they mentioned another ship having hull plating, though.
Yeah.
Like, so it really seems like right now shields are an exclusively Andorian joint.
Well, yeah, exactly. So
what do Vulcans have?
A Cuisinart.
I mean, they might have the fastest ships in the region.
Yeah,
possibly.
they got the speed. Earth's got the transporter.
Actually, we know they've got better sensors. They probably got the best sensors in the quadrant.
Yeah, that's the thing. When the Federation forms, everyone's gonna bring like their best shit, and that's how we get to the Federation ships that are the tits.
Yeah, the Andorians bring the shields, the Vulcans bring the science, the humans bring the Cochrane warp.
And really, we needed Romulans in the crew to get the cloaking device. That's why we never got it.
One stupid little fan reference we didn't get that I am actually kind of sad we didn't. When panning over the table of food, I really wanted TOS food cubes.
Food cubes?
Yeah.
Like, of all the things to not have, that's the one I would have been like, yes.
Even if it's just like one bowl of fruit salad.
Yeah, like one little. And it establishes those weird food cubes are apparently a Tellarite dish.
That'd be funny.
Yeah, when the Tellarites started doing cunnilingus on that piece of fruit that was something.
What show were you watching, Jake?
No, in the fucking Enterprise.
I missed that.
When after he chastises Archer for giving them Tellarite food, he picks up like a piece of fruit and goes, to it.
God, that's upsetting.
No.
Wow, I'm gonna have to rewatch this episode.
Yeah.
Sounds titillating.
Yeah, pig men are really
Sounds clitillating.
Yeah.
I'm down to just the dregs notes now. Reed is always nearly getting killed whenever he puts on an EV suit.
That reminds me, thank you, of something I was going to say. And I meant to say this ages ago, because it's not the first time it's come up. What asshole designed these suits? It is way too easy to pull your oxygen hose out.
It really is.
Like, those things should be, like, buckled down more.
Like,
or maybe internal.
Why is it even a hose? Yeah, why does it just go directly into the suit or into the helmet?
Like, it always says...
So that you can refill it easier? I don't know.
You can still have an auxiliary hose you can hook
NASA
up.
So you
in
can
the
fart and not have to smell the fart because you're getting fresh air through a tube.
You can give your fart to your friend by plugging into his suit.
Oh no!
Isn't that in that fucking Harlan
Give
Williams
a
Martian movie?
Fart to your friend.
Oh yeah, I feel like there is a tube
Yeah.
fart.
It's like, hey, Reed, get a load of this.
No, but really, there's that.
Oh man, what did Chef do?
There's that Harlan Williams movie where he goes to Mars,
called
and
Rocket
actually,
Man.
oh my god, I'm pretty sure Sloan is the other astronaut.
Yes, I think you're right. Actually,
Um,
that means we could watch that movie as a 10
No,
forward.
God, no.
No, yeah,
We have
why?
a
It's
different
great.
definition of why we should watch a 10 forward.
I mean, I loved that movie when I was 10, but I'm sure at 40 it's not
I didn't
good.
even love it at 10, but I'd still watch it.
But yeah,
again.
no, they have to share an oxygen hose at one point, and Harlan Williams has bad gas, and Sloan has to share oxygen with him, and is like, no! This is worse than that time Julian Bashir was in my head.
Nothing's worse.
Yeah, I was
than
gonna say,
that.
no, it
just from
wasn't.
that makes me not want to watch that film.
Yeah, no, it's probably fucking terrible. Again, I've not seen it since I was a very tiny
Is it
child.
a comedy film?
Yeah, it's
Oh, okay.
like an oddball,
Yeah,
goofy
it was
ass comedy.
Disney of
Like
all things,
Harlan
too.
Williams is a really fucking weird guy.
See,
And
when you
comedy
say
is
Harlan
very-
Williams, in my mind, I'm like, Harlan Ellison
I
wrote
keep
this?
doing the same thing.
Yeah, no.
The fart jokes seem a little above him.
Yeah,
Hello?
everyone loves
I
a
don't
fart
know.
joke. But, yeah, no, those designs, very bad.
Yeah. We do get a call back to Minefield, though.
Yes.
When, the last time. Oh, no. One of the other times, because there are so many. Reed. Reed nearly gets killed in an EV suit. That we also were like, those were Romulans, huh? Sure, why not?
The other thing is, like, so we know that they didn't install inertial dampeners on the ship, or they did, but they're turned off.
They turned off, yeah.
On this ship.
Wait.
Did they install? Does this ship have bathroom facilities? Because Reed is going to have to go at some point, and he's not shitting his suit again.
He
He's
might.
already done it.
You might do it again.
They had to throw that suit out the airlock.
There is, like, you could argue that maybe their plan is one day this will be manned, but it's a drone ship. Why does it have, like, life support and inertial?
Well, I'm wondering if it's like
the equipment might still need inertial damping.
I'm also wondering if it's not exclusively a drone ship. If it's like a normal ship that they converted to be a drone ship.
Maybe,
Because when you look at when they show the bridge, it's still got like consoles and stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
So I bet you it's just okay. We retrofitted, one of our regular ships for this new drone attack program we're doing.
Yeah. Or again, it's just to be ready for once they've decided they want to use it with people in it. It'll be easily converted.
I did love the line. There's no rule that says the bridge needs to be on the top of
Yep.
the ship.
That is
I'm like, yes,
true.
it shouldn't be. It's a terrible place for your
Yeah,
bridge.
should be deep in the guts. Also, though, Reed does seem to be getting better.
At
Not wanting to die. Because when he lost all that oxygen, like season 2 Reed, when Trip went to share
just
oxygen, like,
leave me, Trip.
yeah, would have been like, no, sir, you're more valuable. This time he's like, yeah, no, oxygen, please. Jesus Christ, I have something to live for. And Trip's like, what? I don't know yet, but me and my therapist are working on it.
I need to live vicariously through you banging to Paul.
Yeah. So that's good to see that he is apparently getting the help he has so desperately needed for 3 seasons.
Poor Reed.
Poor Reed. I like Reed though. Reed,
I do.
I think Reed is a very he's got like a Chakotay, like a subtle, nuanced character who's consistent.
Yeah, well, admittedly, I might be projecting a little, but, I appreciate that he is neurodivergent and deeply depressed. I can identify with that.
I do like that they used rocket fuel to
Yeah, that was clever.
to breathe. Well, because it makes sense.
Yeah.
Because even today, oxygen is used in chemical rockets, so
Yeah,
it would
it's
make
highly
sense that
flammable.
so it would make sense that they would have that the Romulan thrusters would use oxygen.
Well, see, it would make sense if anyone else is. The fact that the Romulan thruster fuel isn't, like, somehow, I don't know, soy sauce is mind-bending.
You can't breathe
There's
that.
2 tanks. There's a tank of baking soda and a tank of vinegar.
I mean, again, these are the people that...
There's a tank of Diet Coke and a tank of Mentos.
Oh my god.
See, like, honestly, you brought it up earlier. These are the people that fuel their warp drives with tiny black holes. So we're lucky their impulse engines aren't something completely insane.
Right.
My very, very last note goes back to the kind of beginning-ish of the episode. When I just wrote this down, is Archer going to be in every scene? Because for the first half of the episode, it's just all different things, like Archer talking with Graal, Archer talking with Tran, Archer talking with the bridge officer, Archer doing this and this, and I'm like, oh my god, too much Archer. I hate the man already as it is. Stop it.
I thought you were going to ask, is Archer going to be in every episode of this fucking show?
Ugh.
Awful.
But eventually they change it up to being like, no, there's a whole lot of other things going on.
Yeah,
So many things.
So here's one thing though. Once the Andorians show up, the Tellarites are all pissed off because they're like, Archer's clearly playing favorites here, you know. And then they cut to Archer having a private steak dinner with Shran.
Yes.
It's like,
Well, I mean, you can kind of see why they...
have a point
How's your pork loin? I wanted to invite the Tellarites, but I didn't think they'd like it.
They were already really pissed about the bacon.
I was very upset that Tellarites, love eating dog. To hide Porthos from them.
So, the Romulans, we know from their ship, have some pretty advanced holo technology.
Oh, you did it!
The question is, did they ever come up with their own EMH? Or equivalent?
Well, for their sake, I hope not, because there's some bad things about EMHs.
Yeah, that's the thing about EMH is he does some really great stuff. Like, coming up with my best moments was actually fun, because EMH does some really good stuff. Like, I remember really, really liking EMH for my first watch of Voyager.
Edward Medical Hologram.
Edward Medical Hologram. Jake named him last night for no reason.
Oh my god, I wish his name was Edward.
The Romulan EMH stands for Emergency Machiavellian Hologram.
Yes.
Because they're always doing...
The Edward Medical Hologram. Fuck, that's perfect.
Yeah, I got some EMH
You wanna tell us great things the EMH has done?
All right. Well, cool, because this means I get to pick the good ones, and y'all get the dregs.
Or I'll just repeat your list.
That's fair. Saving
Private Ryan.
both the Voyager's reputation and that planet from a civil war in Living Witness.
Ooh.
Good.
I don't know the specific thing I want to call out in this, but his relationship with Dinara Pell
Yeah.
was very nice.
Yeah, it's sweet.
Everything he does with her is good.
And then my last one...
Especially the banging.
This is actually a moment. It's a very specific moment. In fact, it's a single word.
Mm-hmm.
In Spirit Folk, when he's pretending to be the town priest, and they have prisoners. They have, I think, Harry and Tom or whatever, I think, are tied up.
They are.
In the church. And they send the EMH in to rescue them. He bursts in the door of the church and yells, "Sinners!"
I forgot about that.
And then they immediately, then they're like, "No, you're working for the Spirit Folk, you piece of shit," and steal his emitter.
That's a funny moment.
I'm gonna go next because I got one that I'm really not sure belongs on the good list, but it is. I'm conflicted. I'm deeply conflicted. But we don't have a gray list, so I said, fuck it, good.
Just a mention list.
Yeah. In that, I'll start with that one because I'm so unsure about it, but Critical Care.
Oh, no, Critical Care's on my...
That's a good one.
Tippy top of my good list.
Okay.
That's a great movie.
I mean, he does do some questionable stuff at the end, but...
Yeah, but...
But those people were monsters.
They were monsters.
Yeah. And it's a good example of him, growing as a person. Because, obviously, it's not just an oath with him. It's literally his programming. And he was just like, no, my ethical subroutines are more important than my ethical Wait, let me try that again. What I have identified as more important philosophically overrides something I was programmed with.
There you go. And he has lots of, clever ploys and stuff.
Yeah, all the other stuff I think is unquestionably good. That little bit at the end is a little gray. So yeah, we'll go with that. Message in a Bottle is fun.
Yeah, he has fun with Andy Dick. It's adorable.
Does. And I'm sure this is on other people's list as well, but I'm still going to say it. Refusing to split Tuvix.
Oh, no, that isn't on my list. Because I wanted Tuvix dead.
I mean, that's fair. But it is, as a doctor, I think good of him. It's like, you fucking do it then.
Yeah, he was living up to his oath.
Even though he did, actually figure out the procedure, and maybe should have just kept his mouth shut if he was going to be upset about it.
Well, he was commanded to. And...
True.
Man, there's so many moments with the EMH that I'd love to bring up that probably won't be because there's so many other good moments.
Well, let's see if Caitlin has any of them.
Good moments? I thought, even though he was like a douchebag about the holo program he was writing, I thought that it was good that he was trying to help other holo people.
Yeah, I like that one too.
Like, again, he was maybe didn't go about it quite the right way, but...
I think what it comes down to is the metaphor, at least, is correct. He could have tried harder on the other characters, not just vaguely renamed his friends.
Yeah, like he's a bad writer, but he has a good message in his writing.
Yeah, really, it's the opposite of the first episode this week. Like,
Voyeuristic, yeah.
His message was good, but his execution was terrible.
Yeah, well, because he does even like get through to Janeway, who we know like through much of Voyager has trouble accepting him as a being.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing: he made all the crew assholes in his story, and they didn't like him for it. But
they were assholes to him in the beginning.
All
of them.
But like they were turned up to 11 in his novel. But then
he was trying to do satire, but not really shading the satire.
I think satire's fucking hard.
Yeah, I was
most
gonna say
people
that.
are
It's
bad
difficult.
at it.
But but people seem to really like when Tuvok did it, and
that's because no one was dialed up to 11. Everyone was just their character.
Mm.
What else, Caitlin?
Also his Vidian girlfriend.
Yeah.
Denara.
Yeah,
She's
I
the
like.
best.
She is. They were great together.
They were.
And
Especially when they went to the park, when they went parking. That was cute.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And Tom was teaching him how to park with a
Fucking
girl.
Tom.
Hornball. I'm trying to think. Oh yeah, when he saved Zimmerman in Lifeline. Who doesn't love that?
You love that.
I do.
Because even though Zimmerman's an asshole, he's still worth saving, and EMH loves him.
Yeah,
it's very cute.
That's his daddy, kinda.
Yeah, I like that. I've also got a bunch of spares. Let's pick some good ones. Oh gosh, one of the other near the tops of my list is figuring out the whole dealy in Heroes and Demons with Freya.
I was thinking of Freya too.
I definitely considered that episode.
Well, I want to make sure it's on the list because that was like a nice, almost like a early humanish moment for EMH of him like connecting with this woman character and all this stuff.
Well, it's also, I think, one of the first times he kind of had to do something outside of his comfort zone, and he did well.
Yeah. What else do I like? I like going down the list. Okay, here's a good one. He teaches Phantome and his people that new language in the Void, which is so fucking cute.
Yeah, that was cool.
I forgot all about that.
Yes.
That is good.
So that's another good one. I need one more. Let's go with... Just because it needs to be on the list, because this one's so fucking great. He apparently has progeny in blink of an eye.
I am so glad they don't give an explanation.
Exactly.
They better never, ever.
He goes down there for however many years it ends up feeling like for him. He's like, oh yeah, my child's down there. Oh well. It was 3 years?
That's what he said. Are we doing the bottoms?
Do some bottoms now, Jay.
Bottoms up? Alright, so here we go.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, these are bad.
EMH does some fucked up shit.
These are going to be some obvious ones, because I'm lazy. The 7 of 9 body swap from that episode.
Yeah, I forgot all about that.
It's Body and Soul?
I don't know, whichever one where he jumped into 7 of 9 and then molested her.
Yeah, I was going to say played with his own tits.
Yeah. I'm going to say, again, now this one isn't really his fault, I guess.
I bet it is.
It is when he tortures the fuck out of 7 in Equinox.
Oh, I didn't think of that one.
Now, mind you, he has had his ethical subroutines disabled, but it's still him. He still did that shit.
He did.
And then this one, it's kind of lazy, but just being a general prick to everybody in Virtuoso.
Ooh, yeah.
When he thought he was going to go off and be a fucking superstar, and then, getting humbled, which was also nice.
So on my bad list is getting a great big giant head in Virtuoso.
Yeah.
So some overlap there.
Mm-hmm.
Being weird about Cass in Darkling.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. You can be like, well, his subroutines were fucked up because he put all those guys in there. It's like, yeah, but the core impetus was something that was already there.
And he put those personalities in his head on purpose, like a weirdo.
Yeah. And a different bad with 7 of 9 moment. Fucking retrospect.
Yes!
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fuck that man. Oh, you want me to hypnotize you, Seven? Stop it. What is this?
Terrible.
What is this, a magic show?
Terrible episode.
Well,
Yeah.
literally, I have nothing that's not on this list already. Fucking with Seven's mind, thinking he was like suddenly a psychiatrist.
Yeah.
Was
Ugh.
one big one. Getting an inflated ego on Virtuoso. Not just getting an inflated ego, but being like, I'm going to leave because these people worship me and I'm an idiot.
And you guys never liked my singing. All right.
And making all his friends look like dicks in his Hollow novel. What's that about?
I will give an honorable mention, though.
Erase that one. I think I have that.
Not
one.
yet. It's Aim's turn.
I'm trying to think because I feel like I probably have
Well, it's not a dishonorable mention.
author. Maybe I don't have author on this list.
Oh, wow.
Author.
Well, now you've got it on both lists.
I love when they're on both lists.
I
That's
know.
not my name.
I like
Your
to
name
try
is
to.
Peyton.
I like to try to find a way to do that when I can.
He may
It's
have been
clever.
a prick,
I like it.
but he looked great in that smoking jacket thing in Virtuoso.
And the clown hat.
Yeah, yeah. Oh god, and the guys that were shaving their heads to look like him.
I know.
That was amazing.
So weird. Okay, all right. So you guys have picked my top 3 already, which were
Naturally.
which were Body and Soul, Retrospect, and Darkling. So let's go down the list and see which ones end up wanting to make the cut. Oh, this one, just because I'm me, I need this on my list, because I do hate this episode an awful lot, even though many people like it. And that's all the gross stuff he does during his daydreams in Tinker, Tenor, Dr. Spy. Sure, they're daydreams, they're his personal bullshit. I still don't like that episode, because it makes him very gross. It's, I think, one of the earlier, like, instances of me starting to not like the Doctor.
Is this the one where he's like drawing sexy pictures of
Yeah,
Seven?
yeah, he's painting Seven naked,
But
and it's
see,
gross.
that's the thing, though.
Gross.
I don't see that being a doctor problem. I see it being a writer's problem.
Oh, it's still a bad moment.
But
then.
the thing
We've
is-
done that for other characters where it's a bad
but
moment.
here's the thing, though, is like, it's fine that the Doctor fantasizes about naked Seven
Yeah,
of
we
Nine.
just didn't need to see it.
Everybody fantasizes about naked Seven of Nine.
I'm doing it right now.
Like, you could see when they were looking at that scene, like, Harry Kim standing there going like, yeah, this is really fucked up, huh? Yeah.
That's not what I
My
thought.
bunk.
That's not what I thought they'd look like. Sure.
Things that you thought were pink are actually brown. It's a Bob's Burgers reference.
Oh, okay. No, but he does the same thing with Janeway. He does the same thing with Torres. He's
Too horny.
It makes him like a horny, conceited.
Yeah.
Guys,
like,
you all
maniac.
met Zimmerman. He was ready to like marry Chase Masterson or whatever, and then 2 seconds later he's like, "Well, actually, another hot piece of ass just walked by, so
but
see you
we're not,
later."
We're not doing a Zimmerman post. We're doing an EMH
Well,
post,
I
and I
know.
don't like that about him.
Well, I don't either, but I'm just saying it's not like the apple. The apple didn't fall far from the Macintosh.
Yeah, Zim's put a lot of himself in there, clearly.
All right, here's one. I put this on the Tom list 2
Oh,
weeks
yep,
ago, but
yep.
it belongs here too. Because even though like when EMH and Seven are getting along, they're very cute together. The two of them act their asses
Yeah.
off. It's great. But making that Pygmalion bet with Tom in Someone to Watch Over Me
Shitty.
is gross and removes Seven's agency, and I don't like that they did that.
It's bad.
That's bad. And I need one more. And what's it gonna be? Shit. Do I like any of these?
Well, the question is, do you dislike
Yeah,
any of
Oh
them?
shit! I forgot one that I wanted to mention.
Mention it.
When he like was getting into a dick measuring contest with Harry Kim about who
Yeah.
should be in charge of the bridge.
Yeah, that was when I was actually considering doing that one because I did the same thing for Harry Kim last week.
Yeah, that was definitely annoying.
And that's because they're children. They're fucking children, and goddamn them. So I need one more. Did I put anywhere on here? Here we go. It's right here. I found it on my list, and that's doing all the work of the turd people in Renaissance Man, just so I can get a sideburn on those turd people.
Well, it already came up in the other thing.
Was he another person that was telling Paris to just hurry up and fuck B'Elanna also?
I don't
I
remember.
So-
don't remember.
When she was in Ponfar?
You know, there was also that time when he chose not to put Harry Kim out of his misery.
In everyday life?
No, there's
in
that-
the one where he had to choose between Harry Kim and the other person, and he chose Harry Kim.
In Latent Image.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, poor Harry Kim.
like, that's really why he was so upset. He's like, man, I could have saved the other one, and I chose Kim. God damn it.
Aw.
Kim should have had a DNR.
That's right.
You said you had a bunch of other mentions you wanted to get in, Jake.
No, not
No,
really.
you don't like any of them?
Nah.
Not worth
There's just,
putting-
I just think, he's one of the more interesting characters on the show.
Yeah,
We haven't
and he's a
gotten
great
to,
actor too.
to 7 of 9 yet. But
Every
I'm
time
sure
he sings
she'll
is
have
good.
a number.
Very, very slight dishonorable mention. Being an indecisive fuck.
What about his name.
Pick a name, Doc. I just like I
Let it be Edward.
It is no surprise because it's in the trailer, so I'm not spoiling anything. But the Doctor does show up in season 2 of Prodigy, and as far as I know, because I've only just started, he still hasn't picked a name.
Still no name.
It has been 20 years.
His books are authored by the EMH. Like, that's how it was.
So, yeah.
So
come on,
many
Doc.
people don't like to change their names, from their stage names because of recognition.
True.
But still, why is he public? I guess he finally embraces that he is
The EMH. Yeah.
he's like a hologram, and like that's like a huge part of his identity.
I suppose so.
Like he's not so much a Pinocchio character like
Data.
Data. He's
But
just
you still
like,
think
I'm a hologram, and that's cool.
But you still think he'd want a name.
That's true.
I mean, Odo's got a name, but his name is what? Specimen number 8 or some
True.
shit?
It's like unknown specimen or something.
Yeah, in
Yeah.
that whatever language it was in.
Even hologram Janeway is just hologram Janeway.
That's true.
Well, I suppose, like, being fair, all names mean something. Just,
I mean, his literally was just a specimen, though.
Yes, but if you're not Bajoran,
Yeah.
you don't know that it's,
I did think during Babel One, a holographic ship. Clearly, it's Odo.
Oh my god.
It's a changeling ship. It changes shape, you see.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Unidentified
It
flying
changes
Odo.
it changes ship shape.
Ah, I like that.
Well, we have come to the end of yet another A Star to Steer Her By. Thank you for joining us. As always, you can follow us on Facebook and your favorite podcasting app. We are on SoundCloud. We are on Tumblr, sshbpodcast.com. We'll reroute you there. And you can see all these EMH moments and more, and old fanfics and other things. Next week, we will be continuing on. We'll be finishing up this 3-parter with United and the Einar. Or is it Enar? I don't remember anymore. Find out by joining us. As always, this has been Chair.
This has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
And this is always phenylketonuria.
Delicious.
Contains
Phenylalanine.
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 There you go. Just so you know.
Is that in all Coke products or
Probably.
just that one?
No, I think it's in Diet Coke
Oh,
specifically.
is it?
In Coke Zero,
Or Coke
yeah.
Zero, something to do
Yeah.
with the sweetener.
All right, let's shut up and turn the air conditioner on.
All
Good
right.
plan. Good night, everybody.
Removing this cat.
No, it's my fault. I was tickling his foot, so I sort of deserved
That's
it.
a mistake.
Well, yeah,
Off
I
he
know.
goes.
I'm just saying. I thought it's my fault, not his.